So, welcome to another video. This one's long overdue, and I apologize for that, but anytime I'm 2 months putting a video out, I always apologize. So, hey, it's a thing. So, I'll explain it at the end of the video, why I've been so busy and what I've been up to. So, right now, what I want to do is I've been living in my box truck for a little over a year, and I've discovered a lot of things that I would either do different or I'm going to do different. And some things that I'm going to talk about, I've already, one thing I've already done. And what I did was I made a list of everything, and I'm going to read it so I don't forget to cover anything. But it's a lot of things I think that that I kind of wish I would have known, before I started, but I didn't. And so let me get started on that. To start with, I had a recirculating shower, and I had a lot of issues with it. The biggest issue was the smell. So the water, if it even sat for a week, like if I'd go to my sister's and use her shower instead of mine, it just got this real weird smell to it. And the smell wasn't like sewer or anything. It was more like maybe the fragrances had gone bad or something, and they weren't, because what would happen is it would go into my tank and sit there and then accumulate on the bottom, I think is what would happen. And then it would suck that through. And even though you would think that with all the filtration and everything that I have, when it gets to the filters, that's where it messes up, because it smells up my filters, and then all the water that comes through there smells. So that was a real issue for me. And I remember one time I was taking a shower, and when I first started it, it was great, because a recirculating shower is the way to go, because that water just keeps coming. And the only thing I was going to run out of was propane to heat it, but it was really nice. But that was my issue. So in another video, I think I covered, I took that apart, and what I did was made, I got a 21-gallon tank, mounted it underneath, and in place of my other one, took out all my filters and ran it straight through. And that's nice. I mean, it works great. And just the only thing is I can take about 2 or 3 showers the way that I take them. And that's like I get all wet, and then I soap up and do my hair or whatever, and then I rinse off. So you still use quite a bit of water when you do that. You just don't realize it. But so I think one of the problems with it, with me having that, is that I just didn't have enough knowledge about how I know the theory of how it all works, and I probably just didn't have enough knowledge to make it work. So one thing that I would do is I would bring the shower, and I still might. I have some room where I took out all the filters, and I think my tank will fit in there. And so I think I'll bring it in, and my pump and everything, and mount it on the wall right there. Because even when like in Georgia, when I was sitting there, that's the coldest it got for me, and it was like 40. And my water wouldn't get any hotter than 70. So when your body temperature is 98 and you hit 70-degree water on you, it's kind of chilly. So that didn't work either. So a lot of comments came about wrapping it or doing something like that for the cold, but I didn't think 40 was going to be that extreme, which it's not to the body, but it is to your water. So it takes a long time for it to warm up. It's just like refrigerated water, I guess. So anyway, so I might end up doing that. If I do, I'll do a video for that. And speaking of water heaters, I would have installed a second one in my kitchen for my kitchen sink. right now I use my shower, and it works pretty well. But I take a little plastic pan or whatever container, and I put some soap in it, and I use my shower head to put hot water in it, and then I take it over to my sink, which is all of 4 feet. But it's just a hassle, and so and that's how I do my dishes, because it's just me. So I have like a plate and a fork and a knife usually, and a cup or something. So not a whole lot to wash, pots and pans sometimes. But so I would definitely get a water heater for my kitchen. So still along the lines of water heaters is the propane tanks. And the propane tanks that I have, the tanks last a long time, but it's the connectors. It's like, excuse me, I bought 3 different connectors, and every one of them's leaked. So I bought one that had a valve or a dial on it to show you how much is in it, and it leaked. And then I bought another one. I bought one from Walmart and 2 from Amazon, and I bought another one that was an adapter for the smaller tank. It leaked. So the one I have on it now, on my big tank, works, but if I bump it, I can hear it leaking. So I always turn it off no matter what, and that's just to be safe. But definitely, I don't know if you can buy a higher dollar one or whatever, but if there's a better brand or something. But I just buy the ones off of Amazon or at Walmart, and they all leak. So what that brings me to is, should I do electric? Should I do electric cooktop? I really like a gas stove though, because it just, I don't know, I just like it, and I'm used to it. But I know they would use a lot of electricity if I cooked with it, or if I heated my water with it, because I know that's like a on-demand water heater is just like a big surge of power to heat it. So I don't think my inverter could handle it, and I don't want to buy a bigger inverter. And if I did, I'd definitely get one that I could hook up to outside power on, which that's another thing I didn't write down, but that I'd like to cover. So anyway, so that was just something I was thinking about doing, or just have a concern about. So speaking of that, right now my inverter, you can't plug into it from outside and charge my batteries. So the only way I can charge my batteries is through the solar panels or the alternator charger. So what I would do if I was going to get another inverter, I'd get a 3,000 watt, because mine's only a 2,000, and that could handle more, like my microwave better and my air conditioning better. And I would also get one that I can have shore power hooked up to it too. Right now, since my initial wiring was 2 really big extension cords, I can unplug those from my inverter and plug them into, I have a 3-way, and then I can plug that into somebody's house, or power it at a campsite or whatever. That doesn't charge my batteries, but it lets all my AC stuff work. And then the only thing that's using my battery is my lights. And the thing about my lights, I have a bunch of them. I have 14 of them, I think. And of course, they're 12 volt LEDs. And I've had my inverter go off alarm, which means it's out of power in my batteries, and my lights still work. So it doesn't take much at all for them to work. I don't think I've ever had them not be able to work with my batteries drained. So they're really good. I really like my lights. Anyway, so getting back to my list, my diesel heater, it's awesome. The only thing I would change is I have the vent hose that comes out of it, and I would put one of those like vents that you have in your house, so that it disperses the air better. This just comes out of the end, and right now, if I go someplace where it's cold, it blows on my feet, and it gets hot. I mean, it gets real hot. So it's nice to have that, but So, and the thing I do with it is that's something I wouldn't change. That diesel heater's been amazing, and it's very inexpensive, easy to hook up, and it's just worked. And so I set it on about 68, and because this is such a small area, and I let it get real warm in here, and then I turn it off and I go to bed. And man, is it nice when you know it's kind of crisp in the morning, and it's just really nice. So then you turn it back on. It has a remote, and it'll heat the room up in 10 or 15 minutes. So that it's really worked well. But I would definitely, the only thing I would change is I would get a different vent to disperse it. Another thing is my bed. I have the best bed, the world's best bed. It's really nice. The only thing is it's a queen, and I don't need that. I sleep on like maybe 24 inches of the side, and that's about it. And matter of fact, when I rotate it, because I can feel that this side's getting mushed down more because that's the side I sleep on, and then I rotate it and it mushes down the other side, and so it kind of levels it out. But it's just kind of it's big. And I'm in here by myself, so I don't need that much space. So what I would want to do is I would like to get a full mattress, one of those big thick foam ones. And the only way I've found them though is in a queen. And so what I need is a full XL, because I need the length of the queen bed but not the width. And so I would get one of those, and since it's foam, I can cut it with a foam cutter, or like a electric knife or whatever. And then I would have 6 extra inches either on the back, by the back door, or here in front. And here in front, because my bed's screwed together, so I can unscrew it and move it and make everything fit together. It would be fairly easy to do. And so if I move these front boards back to make the bed go 6 inches that towards the door, then I might be able to move my desk and everything and turn it around. And then that I could have a bench. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to measure everything out. But the other way is to bring it in from the door, and that would give me about 8 or 9 inches back there. And if I got an electric bike, like I'd like to, since I don't tow a vehicle, I could put it back there, because I definitely won't hang it off the door or anything. I've heard too many stories of people getting them stolen, or somebody trying to steal them, and you're right there at your bed. So I think that's what I might do, is make that, or try to find a twin full XL, and make my beds not as wide. So and for the length of my bed, I have about a foot at the end, and in one of my videos I showed that's where I put my books. And the only problem with that is it's below my mattress. My mattress is here, and my books are clear down here, so you can't see all you can see is the tops of them. And I've tried to turn them and all this, and it's just. So what I would do is make a shelf, and really, I think I'm still going to do that. Just make a shelf, a better one, raise them up a little bit so you can at least see what books are there by the bindings, and then underneath I could use that as storage. So that would be pretty easy to do. So I think I'll do that. Let's see. My chair. My chair is so uncomfortable. It's a folding chair has a built-in cushion, and it's horrible on my legs. So the reason I got it, excuse me, the reason I got it was because it folded, and I thought I could fold it and put it out of the, move it out of the way. But in a year I've folded it once, I think. So definitely not a good idea. So I'll get a different chair. I need to get, I'd like to get like an office chair, but with the wheels, I don't know if how that'll work, but I'll figure that out. Another thing, speaking of rolling around and everything, this was brought up. It's really funny because this is getting me now. this, so when I put my flooring in, I put sound deadening down, and when you don't know, you don't know. So I put sound deadening down, and it was kind of foamy, like a foam. And then I put my vinyl floor down. And I remember one commenter, he goes, I can't for the life of me figure out why you did that. And my response was, I can't either now, because I had a wooden floor, so the sound deadening doesn't work. It's, it's like a quarter of an inch of foam. And so there was like no insulation properties in it. And that was what I think the main reason I did it. And but it's stuck. It's really stuck to the floor, to the wooden floor. So I left it. And what happened is right where I walk constantly, I have this little area. Well, when the vinyl floor clicks together, it's that on that foam, and it just kept rocking back and forth, and now it's all snapped, and the vinyl floor is coming apart and it's lifting up. So what I'm going to do is take it out and leave about one piece of vinyl floor on each side where I don't walk, and then I'm going to put some carpet in, like indoor outdoor carpeting or something, in the rest of it. And I'll do a video on that, because that was really, the floor was really pretty, and I really liked how it went together. I liked the gray and all of that. It just really bummed me out that it cracked. And another thing too was where my chair sits. That had a lot to do with it too, because like the little protective caps came off the legs. so it's a lot of things. A lot of things you learn as you go, but so I think that helped, crack it a little bit. But anyway, so I have about 3 or 4 widths of it that are cracked. So I'm gonna pull those all up and put some carpet down. Just need to go get it. That's the only thing I have just about every weekend available, so I can do that, and I'll do that next weekend and do a video. So. The other thing is my solar panels. So if I was going to do it again, I can't redo it now, but if I was going to do it again, I would redo how I have the strut, unistrut that goes length of my truck, and it's screwed into my roof, and it comes all the way through, and it's, I'm sure you saw the video. So, and I would never do that again. What I would do is run it side to side and bolt it to the lips, that the little edges or ledges that hang over the edge. I would figure another way, figure a way to bolt it on there. And then by doing that, I could slide it. I had purchased 2 sets of what I thought was the same solar panels, and I got 2 different sets. So one was wider than the other, and so they didn't line up. I had that strut all the way down, and if you saw the video, I had to kind of cobble it to get it together, but I finally got it to work. But if I would have had it this way, from side to side, then I could have moved it if it was just clamped on and then clamped it down real good. And I think that would have definitely been better. So more like an adjustable thing, and I'd definitely change that. And then, anything's better than drilling through your roof. So because of that, I did have some leaks, and I had some major ones actually. And so I sprayed the heck out of it with Flex Seal, and I still had some leaks, so I went up and I got the Flex Seal in the can with the brush, and it's covered so it doesn't leak. But what I found out is that one place where it leaked, it wasn't even raining, and it hadn't rained, and I had water coming out of it, like a drip, and then it would drip, and I was like, what the heck? Well, it was condensation. So there's condensation on that metal roof on the underneath, and it was like real kind of cool that night, and then it heated up in the morning, and it just started condensing. So I don't know, if you guys want to leave a comment on how to prevent that. I can't do anything now because I'd have to tear the whole thing apart, and that would be a shower, cabinets down, ceiling down, everything. But doesn't seem to be hurting anything, and I think it'll be okay. But in the future, I don't know if there's something you can spray on it, or if there's anything you can do to prevent that. So I'd like to, if I build another one, I'd like to be able to do that. And one thing that's just kind of an inconvenience is my microwave. It's about 5 inches off the floor. It's in my IKEA little shelving thing, and it's bolted to it, and it works really well. But it's clear down by the floor, so it's kind of, you got to put your plate down there or put your package or whatever you're going to microwave down there, and it's just kind of a hassle. So I think I would do that different, like maybe put it under one of my cabinets or something, and figure out how to bolt it up there and put it on I don't know, build a shelf, and then I don't know, I would do something. I still might, because I don't like it on the floor, that close to the floor, and I could use the shelf. So that's just one thing I might look into. The other thing is my kitchen sink. On the video, you can see that I cut the hole too big, and but that hasn't been a problem. It's always worked. My problem is that the sink's so big. It's I wanted it deep so that water wouldn't splash, and the only one I could find was super 28 inches wide or whatever. So, it'd take half of one of my tanks of water to fill it up to do dishes. So that's why when I use the hot water, I have a little dish, that whatever it is, I don't know, plastic container, and I do all my dishes in there, because otherwise, I'd run out of water putting it in the sink. So I really don't use all of my sink. And I think what I might do, if I had a place, where I could do it, I would redo my countertop. I like it. I like the way it turned out. There's some things I did that I've learned from, but I like the kind of fake granite look on it, and I know the backsplash that I had for it, it looked beautiful, but it never dried, so it never cured because it had resin on it, and I just didn't know how to mix it correctly. So now that I know that and know how to do it and all of that, I think I would like to do another countertop with a backsplash, and then at the same time get a smaller sink, and then that way, and cut the hole right this time so everything fits right. So yeah, but other than that, that's about all I have as far as what I would do different. Let me just explain some things that I've learned about being in a box truck for a year. So when you tell somebody that and they're actually into it, it's like, oh my God, you're living the dream. That's so cool. And how do you like it? Well, when I went on my first adventure to Alabama, when I left there, that was when I realized I wanted to go home, and I didn't have a home to go to. So you need a place to land, and if you have a house and you're building a box truck, don't live in it full time, because this is me, this is just me. I'm pretty much a loner, and I don't like where I have to, where I don't have a place to stay. My own, park my truck, get out, live somewhere. I think that's what I need. It was really kind of weird, because I was sitting in Georgia, got my truck running, and it's like, okay, now what do I do? I know I wanted to go back to Florida. But what do? You just keep driving and driving. Well, it's really kind of funny how God works, because my old employer called me, and we were talking about how things were going, and they needed a warehouse manager. So I applied and I got it, and now I'm full time. so um, so I'm going to do this for a while, and I don't know how long, but I'm real close to the Everglades, so I'll still do, like maybe weekend excursions and things like that, so I can still do videos. There's a lot of alligators here. There's a lot of wildlife. I don't want you to think that I'm going to stop doing the box truck thing, because I'm not. But it's gonna be different for me, and I really enjoy the area. So there's plenty of parks and everything that I can do. So that's about it. I guess I've rambled on long enough, and I hope you enjoy the video. I think I'm here to stay, and as far as my channel goes, I have 561 subscribers, I think. Excuse me, and that's been great. I love it. It's a little community that is very friendly, and there's a lot of good people on it. So I appreciate everybody that subscribes and watches. I do want to say, thanks to everybody that's reached out. They haven't seen a video in a while, and they're concerned, make sure I'm okay. Then I think that's great. It's really a neat thing. So if you liked it, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. So until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.